Yes, sir.
See it, you see it.
Who that? Oh, Fernandez, whoever this is. Shout out to him.
Big money, big money.
Of
I know
course.
that football is well, I would think I know it's the most popular sport in the world, but I would also assume it's the highest paid sport in the world for obvious reasons. So now we're here to learn about how footballers get paid. I think he's gonna like probably tell us like specific footballers and like I don't know. But this video popped up on the suggested page. I'm like, oh, I bet it's new. I'm intrigued. Let's
Yes.
see. Hey, football
This
content, man. I told y'all.
football is very interesting because it's very out of my reach of knowledge. You know, I didn't really grow up watching football, so I don't really know the ins and outs. You know, so it's an interesting subject. You know what I mean?
Hey, they talking about some crazy rivalries happening this Saturday. Oh no, this Sunday.
Football wise.
Barcelona.
Oh,
Yep.
sure.
Barcelona, Real Madrid. Hey, I think it's a rematch, right? Because I definitely played before when I reacted to that video. So we're gonna see who takes the. I don't know who I'm going for, but we're gonna see.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
Do it.
Footballers make a lot of money. The average salary for a Premier League footballer today sits at more than £65,000 a week, the most it's ever been. That
Wait, hold
is
on.
just the average though. Amazing players
Wait.
like Kobe,
A
the most
week?
it's today sits at more than £65,000 a week.
That's just average. So the average person, so that's you just be decent, you'll be able to make at least 3.
M's off the rip. Like, nah, that's a pretty good ratio.
The most it's ever been. That is just the average though. Amazing players like Kobe make less than that, whilst players like Cole or Jude make
Cole
more.
Palmer.
But as crazy as that sounds, even those guys would be
Obvious.
considered mid-tier when it comes to salary, because these guys take things to a whole other level. Player salary isn't the only way in which they get paid. Bonuses and image rights often make up a sizable portion of a player's total earnings. So today, I'm going to break it all down. I'm Jordan.
Bonuses.
I'm on a mission to make passionate sports fans like you just 1% more informed. So today, along with research from Nafeez from Bangladesh, we're going to break down players' earnings, how they get paid, the ridiculous clauses that are included in some players' contracts, and what the hell image rights actually are. But to kick off, let's start with the first one. I've always wondered, when you make so much money, does it get paid to you in the same way with a payslip into your bank account? Well, the answer is sometimes, yeah. Check this out. This is a leaked payslip from Carlos Tevez when he used to play for Manchester. Is a leaked payslip.
Bro, look at the taxes, bro. Look how much he's paying in taxes, king.
Damn, that nigga over here, man.
he's
Nigga said
wild.
MP bonus.
This is for the year. This is how much he paid for the year?
I'm gonna let this nigga explain, nigga. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Nah, facts.
From Carlos Tevez when he used to play for Manchester City. Tevez is one of those players that I can't even hate on, even though he switched up on my beloved club. And to be honest, when I see the payslip, I understand why too. In the UK, you have to pay income tax on any earnings when you're an employee of a company. The higher rate tax band is at 45%. This, of course, is where all Premier League footballers fall into. You can see here that in this month, Tevez was paid £720,827. Not bad. That loosely equates to a salary of around £180,000 per week. His deductions are in line with what you would pay as an employee on this income tax band. And this number shows how much money he paid in tax at that stage of the tax year. Yeah, for all the shit that footballers get about how much money they make, it's worth remembering that they are very big taxpayers in a given economy. That's one thing that's not to be forgotten. What's interesting about this payslip are these lines. For bonuses, some players get all kind of things thrown into their contract when they sign for a club. Tevez says accommodation here, so I suspect Man City were giving him some kind of allowance for living, which makes sense because, you know, when he left Man United, he had to travel really far.
These niggas live in a video
But
game.
who knows,
Like,
maybe
niggas
it's
is
for family.
getting
Other bonuses
double
are
XP.
pretty standard though. Goal bonuses being one. The Mirror reported that Mo
Niggas say
Salah
you
has
do
a
this
bonus
shit, you
for
get
whenever
more
he reaches
VC.
more than 35 goals or assists in a given season.
Look, this
According to
nigga's
them,
getting an
according to them,
incentive.
he
Nah,
gets
Yeah.
there's not.
2.5
Go
million
back.
pounds
There's
per
no
season.
way. This
Yeah.
is some 2K
Salah
shit.
has a bonus for whenever he reaches
Wait, what?
goal bonuses being one. The Mirror reported that Mo Salah has a bonus for whenever he reaches more than 35 goals or assists in a given season.
A
That nigga get
2.5 bonus. Nah.
Can you imagine if this shit was in the NBA? Niggas like, yo, every time you score 40, every time you get a double, like, hey. Niggas will be out there.
If niggas knew that, FanDuel would be going berserk. Niggas say he gotta hit this. He has to.
You know about. It's
According to
definitely
them,
harder.
and again, according to
Nah,
them.
yeah,
Football,
for sure. What?
We said 35 goals.
You know, people
How
not
many
even really
assists?
getting goals like that. That shit
You
hard.
really gotta work for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He gets an extra £2.5 million when he achieves this. According to the Daily Mail, his teammate Virgil van Dijk gets a clean sheet bonus. If Liverpool achieve 22 clean sheet bonuses in a given season, Virgil gets 750k. Again, speculation from the Daily Mail. Similarly, there are team performance incentives too. Ben Foster is really good on YouTube. He said on his podcast once that if Wrexham, who he played for at the time, got promoted, he was promised 100 grand in performance-related bonuses for the team. If you've been a fan of my channel for some time, you'll know I did a video on Wrexham, and you'll know they pay quite a lot in bonuses. So this has some legs to it. Loyalty bonuses are also a thing too. These are particularly interesting, and there was a particularly high profile case with Kylian Mbappe. The loyalty bonus states if a player sees out the entirety of their contract, there's a payment at the end for doing so. When he left Paris Saint-Germain and went to Real Madrid, there was a loyalty bonus of 80 million euros to be paid to Kylian Mbappe that they fought over in court. Mbappe won that case and got paid that amount of money, despite trying everything they can to not do that. Not bad.
Oh my god,
Nah,
he
his
said really
lawyers-
80 mil as long as you stay.
Oh my god. I mean, he said, yo, bro, I'm gonna finish out the contract, which says I gotta finish it till this date. And then y'all gotta give me my bread.
This thing is no, I'm going to court and winning this. Like, nah, I need these. I need everything, every single coin, every last crumb.
How do you even go to court with somebody that got this on paperwork that you made him sign? No, it's like, I don't understand.
I'm still trying to fathom 55 M's, gang. Like, can you just imagine what he's making already? And niggas that's like, yeah. I mean, damn, I'm going to court for that much too, though. But like, it's still, that's like, gang. Like, I guess I'm not fighting for this.
Yo, like I said, I guess I'm
Especially
not
if I
fighting for
fulfilled
this.
it.
Ew. Nah, 55
What?
M's, fuck that. I'm fighting for that, nigga. Man, we fighting for that.
Nah, yeah.
We going to court about 55 M's, nigga.
So, assuming there was nothing else, all of these would be additional line items on these payslips. Where things get interesting, though, is when money from a club is paid into a business on behalf of a player. That's usually done for image rights. I've been a football fan my entire life, and I've always wanted to know, what the hell are image rights? I write a newsletter. All of my newsletter subscribers get insights like this sent to their email inbox every Monday at 11 a.m. UK time. Join the thousands of you already in there by clicking on the link in my description. Now, image rights. Image rights are exactly that. They are the rights to a player's name, likeness, voice, and signature. Initially,
Hold on, wait.
Like a whole ass copyright
So
thing.
could you sign a contract and not have image rights? So could a team take your image rights and have your name, your voice, your signature that they own? Because that's crazy work if they could do that. That's taking everything from you. Like,
I didn't even know this was like, I thought this was like, kind of already like.
this is
I
like
guess,
human
like-
rights. Like, nigga, this is your name.
Niggas at my voice. Like, damn, nigga, but like,
Like,
but I guess.
you try to drop a YouTube video, get copyrighted by your own fucking football club, niggas gonna be sick, nigga. So you can't talk, can't show your face, can't do nothing.
I gotta know what this means in depth.
Nah, yeah.
a player owns 100% of the rights to their own image. However, the players' club can start to negotiate that percentage when they're in negotiations over a contract. To speak further on this, the most notorious example of negotiations on image rights are at Real Madrid. Florentino Perez has historically always said if you play for Real Madrid, you're going to give up half of your image rights unless they are clearly separate from the club. Yes,
Yo.
half. His theory is a simple one. By playing for Real Madrid, your profile will increase so much that it's worthwhile you paying to be here. Similarly, when Real Madrid own half of your image rights, you are equally incentivized to boost your own image, as both parties would benefit. This then is the thesis that aligns very well with the Galactico philosophy at Real Madrid. So to be clear, if Jude Bellingham was to say, sign an agreement with Beats by Dre that paid him £2 million, half of that would go to Real Madrid.
Would go
If
to-
he had an
wow.
agreement that was 50-50. And quite frankly,
50-50,
every player is
okay.
happy to do it. However, in 2009, a certain someone came along. For the first time in
Yo,
forever, that
yo,
50-50
yo.
split changed
Chill.
to 60-40. And since then,
Yo.
Ronaldo's image rights have been on an interesting journey. In 2015, Ronaldo sold a portion of his image rights to Mint Media, a company run by Singaporean businessman Peter Lim. Lim is largely responsible for Ronaldo's explosion into superstar status because he had a strong approach to boost his appeal in Asia. Some of this started to bear fruit pretty quickly. There's a massive e-commerce company in Singapore called Shopee. There's a very famous and funny advert of you-know-who fronting the brand. This is exposure he wouldn't have got before. Interestingly, Real Madrid have a unique position on image rights in the top 5 leagues. Premier League clubs tend to not dabble in players' image rights, allowing them to just own them 100%. Erling Haaland, for example, has full control over his empire. And when this happens, most image rights are usually paid into a player's business. This then is taxed at a different rate. Corporation tax in the UK is at 19%, which is a significant difference to the 45% that salaries are taxed at as incomes. And that's a pretty big difference. So you can see then why tax plays a massive part in a player's earnings. Serie A have a very interesting approach when it comes to tax. Well, it actually isn't a Serie A thing. It's a government-led Italian state thing where they incentivize skilled workers to come to Italy and work in the country. Set up in 2019, Decreto Crescita, or the translation is Growth Decree, is a law passed by the Italian government that incentivizes people to come and work in the country. In footballing terms, for a player to benefit, they must be a tax resident of Italy, have not lived in Italy for 2 of the 3 previous seasons, and must remain in Italy for at least 2 years. By doing this, foreign players can get a much better income tax rate than players who are from Italy playing in Italy already. It's a sliding scale, but it can be as low as 25%, which is a lot less than the 45% that you pay in the UK, and less than the 43% that is typically paid by Italian players. That's quite a big difference. Do you remember when Aaron Ramsey left Arsenal and went to go and play for Juventus on a free contract? Well, think about the wages he was earning at the time, and at the time they were reported to be quite high. He would have benefited from a lower income tax rate. So massive increase in gross earnings, massive decrease in income tax paid. And that's a pretty lucrative couple of years for Aaron Ramsey over on the continent. That was quite lucrative for CR7 when he moved there too. That was probably one of the reasons that attracted him to go and play for Juve for those 3 seasons. The most lucrative
this nigga be chasing the
player though.
Nah, yeah, he be everywhere, yo.
Regions are exempt from tax altogether, which means that 45% that Carlos Tevez played whilst playing in Manchester, that's gone. He would keep that. Yeah. There is some nuance here, so stay with me as I take you through a timeline. Law states that from the UK, to take advantage of tax exemptions overseas, you must stay out of the country for a full tax year before you can benefit. In the UK, the tax year runs from April to April, but the transfer windows are at the summer and in January. So, if a player left in July of 2025 and they went to a Middle Eastern club, for them to benefit from the lower income tax rate, they have to stay out of the country for a full tax year. If they leave in July, the tax year has already started. So they have to wait for that tax year to finish and then do a full tax year after. Meaning, with the transfer windows, that player cannot return to the UK until July of 2027 unless they want a healthy tax bill on their shoulders. Jordan Henderson is a prime example of this. He left Liverpool after an amazing career on Merseyside in the summer of 2023. He signed for Al Ettifaq on what was reported healthy wages over in Saudi Arabia. Now, things didn't go so well for Jordan when he was over in the Middle East, and he left
so he tried
6
to
months
come
after
back.
in January of 2024.
Hit that
However,
boy with
even
that.
for a short 6-month stint in Saudi Arabia, for Jordan to benefit from the lower income tax rate, he would have to stay out of the UK until April 2025 before he made a return. So it didn't surprise me to see Jordan sign for Ajax in 2024, and that's where he currently plays at the time of recording this video. Ajax are a good club, don't get me wrong, but reports suggest he's doing the most to get the bag. And quite frankly, if that was to be true, I don't blame him one bit. If you've made it this far in this video, then thank you. I get loads of emails and messages asking how you can support me on my journey. I'm on a mission to bring the business of sport to a million people. So if you want to follow me on this journey, please do one of 3 things. Firstly, follow me on Twitter for more insights. Secondly, please like this video. I didn't know how much likes matter.
Incentives and things you gotta do and reach.
And if you aren't, please subscribe. It's weird. So many people who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you are one of those people, please hit the
football
subscribe
actually
button.
interesting when you really
MLS
you get to know the ins and
for
outs.
25 million. He was offered the right to buy an MLS in a crazy way. 2 things for you before we end this video. The first is about Golden Boy David Beckham. Beckham got paid in a crazy way when he signed for LA Galaxy. He was offered the right to buy an MLS expansion team for 25 million. He was
This nigga got paid 128 million to pay an MLS?
Wait, like this nigga would like to buy?
No, that was 25 mil to buy.
MLS.
But he got paid.
expansion team for $25 million. Now, you might think that doesn't sound like him getting paid. In fact, it sounds like he has to pay a lot of money to buy a team. But as you know,
Yeah,
Bex
but-
exercised the right to start an MLS franchise, and that later formed Inter Miami. After just a few years,
bro.
Inter Miami is one of the most
Bro.
valuable MLS franchises going.
bro.
And David Beckham is a big beneficiary.
That's what I was about to say.
It's
Like,
unclear
nigga, his
how much
influence
of
wouldn't
Inter
that
Miami David
club
Beckham
grow OD.
Doesn't Messi play for Miami?
actually owns today. But Forbes values
Which is why they're able to give
over
that
$1 billion.
nigga free.
Let's just
Yo.
say, for the sake of speculation, Beckham owns 15% of Inter Miami. It's a pretty decent way to get paid as a footballer, and that valuation is only going one way from where we are today. Now, the final thing is just a fun thing. Reports suggest there are some absolutely crazy asks for players when they sign for clubs, included in their contracts. When I was researching this video, some of the things I saw online just made me laugh. Neymar's Barcelona contract reportedly included a clause that allowed 8 of his friends to fly into Barcelona so they could party and come and see him play. Ronaldinho's contract
Every
with Flamengo
month.
in the early 2010s apparently included contractual allowances to go out and party
Nice out
twice a week,
without fines or
regardless of the team's
repercussions.
schedule. A little bit closer to home, Troy Deeney did a legendary interview with Filthy Fellas where he outlined the demands that Watford agreed to in his contract extension negotiations. They agreed to remove the speed bumps in the car park so that he could drive his sports car to work every single day. They also gave him a box at the stadium so his friends and family can come and watch him. He also asked for particular car parking spaces in the car park too. Oh, what? You don't believe me? Let him tell the story right here.
I'm saying take the speed bump out. You know what? I've got one box. It's only 10-seater, but I feel like other people are good. So can I get 2 boxes? Knock the wall out. And also at this point they're going, yeah.
Look at the nigga Lippy.
Do you know what actually? My boys don't like walking from the bottom of the thing to. Can I get 2 directors' car parks? Have it.
What? If Troy Deeney can get that at Watford, just imagine what some of the elite players
That's
are
what I'm
asking
trying
for.
to say.
I
Like,
mentioned
what
all
is
the speculative things in
Ronaldo
this video
asking
about
for,
wages
man?
and clauses. Some of
Bro,
these
he
things
probably
are
don't
out
even
there
gotta
on the internet,
walk,
so there
nigga.
is
He
some
probably
truth
just
to them,
getting
but we have to take
go-karted
things with a pinch
to
of
everywhere he
salt.
gotta
Regardless,
go.
This video was fun, and I hope you really understood how footballers get paid in so many different forms today. I mentioned Beckham a lot in this video. If you want to see how his Inter Miami story came together, please click here and watch this. It's one of the best videos I've ever done. But also, if you want to see on the other side of the transaction, how football transfers get done and how players get bought.
Oh man.
I'm Jordan.
And how many people even like let that type of shit be like public, where they're like, oh yeah, like I asked them for like free fucking merch for like all my family, like all kits free.
Like okay, I get what you're saying. Like how many people make that their special things public type shit?
Yeah, like they let niggas like let it be known like this is what I asked for type of thing. Cause like
I don't
they
know.
probably got some ridiculous things.
The box is smart. That's probably the
The
best
box
thing
is
you
smart.
could ask for. You feel me? Like you be like, yo, you don't even gotta buy tickets. Just come here and be like, you got the box. Da 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 da. You good? You feel me? Like that's the best thing.
Speed bump. Like damn nigga, how fast
That
you
was-
driving into that bitch?
Yeah, that
Nigga.
was. 'Cause you
Nigga,
don't
not
have to
trying to slow
come
down.
here in your Lambo, nigga. You could just drive a regular car, gang.
So fuck that. This bitch sit low. I can't say, I know that makes sense because the bitches do sit low to the ground, but still. Like,
Bro, if I'm making that football money, bro, I'm getting chauffeured. Nigga. I'm not even driving to the spot. I'm like, oh, bro, we're in a black truck, man.
like, there's no way niggas is driving to that stadium. They don't know what car you're driving. You're not being followed. You gotta have security trailing you inside a Lamborghini. Like, who
Nah,
else is
yeah.
driving a fucking Lamborghini to this football stadium? Like, hey. The way people love football players, they ain't touching them.
Nah,
They
facts.
They not touching them.
They treat them like, yeah, you know, royalty out there. And they're like, yo, you know who that is?
But the way.
Nah, facts. Facts.
Direct traffic.
Facts.
Hey man, I was interested in it. I can't argue. If you want more, got any other suggestions? Man, you know what to do.
Yes, sir.
Nature.
Comment, like, share, subscribe, man. Tune in for the next video.
That's Sirski.
Say y'all.